There are a lot of reports out there regarding the future of Rafael Devers in a Red Sox uniform, especially after the Red Sox agreed to a deal with Justin Turner earlier this week.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Red Sox your first listen of every single day. I am your host, NESN's Lauren Willand. I am flying solo today. Jake Ignazuski is in Dallas with Bally Sports. He is coming home today, but he's flying for most of the day. So you're stuck with me. But we're going to talk about the Justin Turner deal that the Red Sox and him agreed to earlier this week and kind of what that means for Rafael Devers. Some reports out there that they are galaxies apart in contract extension talks, and he doesn't want to talk extension during the season, and it's becoming a big mess. Red Sox fans, understandably, just have no faith that an extension will get done. But the Red Sox made a move, and it seems to kind of have fans torn on Twitter. I couldn't really get a read. Some fans, I feel, really like this move, and then others were just like, I do not understand it. But the Red Sox agreed to terms with Justin Turner. It was a one-year deal earlier this week. He spent several seasons with the Los Angeles Dodgers, so he's got Kike Hernandez in Boston with him, Kenley Jansen, even Alex Verdugo. Turner is a third baseman, so a lot of red flags went up with Red Sox fans when this deal was reported. According to the Boston Globe's Alex Spear, this is a one-year deal worth $8.3 million, and it includes an option for the 2024 season that is worth $13.4 million. And Turner is 38 years old, and now that makes him the oldest player on the Boston Red Sox roster. I don't think he's Devers' replacement by any means. I did see some people kind of maybe hint toward that and be like, obviously this is what's going to happen, and maybe this is the Red Sox plan all along, but we'll get deeper to that in just a second. But Turner will primarily serve as the DH, which was another hole left behind after JD Martinez signed with the Dodgers. And he's got a lot of power, Turner does. He's a right-handed bat. He's a good fit for this team because he does provide defensive versatility. He can play third base. So if the Red Sox want to rest Devers or use him more in a DH role where they weren't really given that opportunity last year, Turner does give them that option. He's a career .289 hitter. He does have that steady bat. And yes, his power has gone up and down over the last few seasons, but that will probably come with anyone who, as they get older throughout their career. He had 27 home runs in 2019 and in 2021. And as I mentioned, he does reunite with Kike Hernandez and Kenley Jansen. They all won a World Series together. So coming into a new team with familiarity of other players who now will be your teammates certainly is a good thing. It can't hurt by any means. And he also played with Alex Verdugo. So overall, I don't hate this move. I'm not jumping up and down about it. I'm not, this is the Red Sox move. I'm certainly not sitting here thinking that this is the best move of the Red Sox offseason or that it's the final move of the Red Sox offseason. It better not be. But it provides the Red Sox a little more depth and a little more versatility, which you just can never really go wrong with. And I just hope that the Red Sox don't think that this is their big move and their big offseason signing. There's still tons of work to be done. There's still a lot of questions to answer. And while those holes need to be filled, there's also plenty of rumors out there now surrounding what's happening with Rafael Devers and the status of his contract and the contract extension. We all know he's going to be a free agent in 2023. And after what's happened with Xander Bogaerts, why would fans feel comfortable or optimistic going into these kinds of contract talks with Rafael Devers? You watched Mookie Betts go, you watched Xander Bogaerts go in recent years, and now fans are looking at Devers being like, is this going to happen to him too? And there's already plenty of theories out there that this is exactly what's going to happen and that the Red Sox should ultimately just trade him. And rightfully so. The Red Sox fans should absolutely feel like this because front office has given them no reason to think they'll be aggressive with Devers. We have reports out there saying they're galaxies apart in negotiations and that Devers and his camp expect him to be a free agent after 2023. And listen, I'm all for players going out and testing the free agent market. They absolutely deserve that. But with players like Bogaerts and Devers, even if they want to look at what's out there should be some sort of verbal agreement here. Like, we're going to bring you back no matter what. Or if you're truly that invested in bringing that person back, don't ever let them get to free agency. What a crazy thought. I know. So on top of those reports, Chaim Bloom is also telling reporters that they're willing to go beyond reason, but also have limitations when it comes to Rafael Devers. You can't have it both ways. This is the full quote from the Boston Globe. We will probably, I think, go beyond reason to try to get this done. Hopefully we can get this done. There are always going to be limitations. Like, people can just put something plain out of reach. Some people love to bet on themselves, and I hope he hits 63 homers if he does that. If you want Rafael Devers on this team, you're going to sign him. It's that simple. You're not going to let him get away like Xander Bogaerts. And you can't say, oh yeah, we'll go beyond reason. Oh, but there's limits. No, if you're going to go beyond reason, you're going to go beyond reason. And you're going to do it because you want to build around Rafael Devers. He's someone you build around. And especially now more than ever, now with Bogaerts gone, you don't really have that core at all anymore. Who is this team's core? They don't have one. So start building it around Rafael Devers. And this is just going to be another storyline hanging over the Red Sox over the 2023 season if something doesn't get done, which doesn't really seem like it's going to. Just seems like it's going to be another, oh yeah, this is our priority. He's our number one guy. We're going to do whatever it takes. No, because we've all heard that before for so many times, for so many players, and players that mean a lot to this organization, that mean a lot to the fans. And Chaim Bloom has said that Devers is the forefront of what they want to do, and they're going to keep trying to extend him, blah, 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 blah. We've heard this. You can say whatever you want. Fans are not going to believe you. Fans are going to have absolutely no faith that you're going to get an extension done with Rafael Devers because of what has happened in the past and what has happened very recently with someone who should still be here. Coming up in our second segment of the Locked On Red Sox podcast, we're going to talk about how tone deaf Sam Kennedy has been with his recent comments of being aggravated that there is a narrative around this team that doesn't want to win. But if you're a betting person, you'll probably bet that they don't want to win, but you can check out all their odds and everything else at betonline.net, because betonline.net is your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. You can get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur sport out there, from pro football. If you're a Patriots fan, I'm so sorry how Sunday's game ended, to college bowl season, to basketball, the NBA. You had the Celtics running through the league, and now all of a sudden it seems like they've forgotten how to win. Whatever your sport is, it's all over at betonline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, which you probably do since you're listening to Locked On Red Sox, you can even find those at BetOnline as well. They're always the fastest and the easiest way to get all of your sports betting info. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and the action. That's BetOnline, where the game starts. And thank you for making Locked On Red Sox your first listen today. Now make sure you check out Locked On Sports today for your second listen. It's the biggest stories around the sports world in 20 minutes or less, plus instant reactions, game recaps, and Locked On's take of the day, which is probably my favorite part of that podcast. Locked On Sports today, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. So Sam Kennedy just doesn't seem to understand why fans think they don't want to win, which is fascinating to me. Maybe it shouldn't be fascinating to me, because you've seen the moves that you've made. You've been part of these moves that the Red Sox have made. There's just no hope that you're giving fans that this will be a competitive team, that you're putting good product on the field, and that you want to win games. So ESPN's June Lee, he talked to Sam Kennedy, and this is a quote from Sam Kennedy. He said, "It gets frustrating and irritating when you hear questions about your commitment to winning. All of our decisions we make are geared toward trying to win a World Series championship. We don't get those questions when we're winning." Duh. Yeah, of course you don't get those questions when you're winning, because you've made decisions to make a winning baseball team. You've made decisions to give fans a reason to believe that you want to win. When you're winning, there doesn't need to be questions about your commitment to it. But when you're not winning and you're not making the moves to do so, of course there's going to be questions. And you can't say all of our decisions are geared toward trying to win a World Series when you let your 5-time Silver Slugger, All-Star, 2-time World Series championship shortstop walk for nothing, all because you don't want to give him a couple more years. So of course you're going to get these kinds of questions. I don't understand where the disconnect is here. Yes, 4 World Series since 2004 is something fans I know are grateful for. But when you're 2 games away from the World Series in 2021, you expect that same level of competitiveness a year later. That's it. It's that simple. And it didn't happen. Instead, Jackie Bradley was traded back to Boston. The Red Sox let Kyle Schwarber walk. Several prospects made their MLB debut when they weren't MLB ready because of the lack of depth, to no fault of these prospects. And that's not any fault of their own. You didn't lock up Xander Bogaerts before he got to free agency. You lowballed him. You disrespected him with an offer, but that's definitely a decision geared toward winning a World Series, right? And this is sounding like this is what's going to happen with Rafael Devers. You had John Lester, David Ortiz, even though he finished his career with the Red Sox, you still disrespected him several times, Mookie Betts. But there's just no accountability. There's no transparency. And you say you make these decisions, yet Ryan Brazier, Darwinzon Hernandez, and Caleb Ward are still on the roster. It's just tone deaf. You can't be this blind to why fans are angry. Address why they're angry. A little transparency would probably go a long way. Where is this team going? What's the direction? What's their identity? Who's their leader? Because he's gone. And JD Martinez, who could have been like a mini manager, he's gone. I just couldn't get over the tone deafness of the comment, just because you're not making decisions that are geared toward wanting to win a World Series. If anything, you're doing the exact opposite. It just doesn't seem that way. And if you want to rebuild, and that's 100% fine if you do, you need to come out and say that. Because you're telling fans that they're going to be competitive, that they're going to compete for the postseason, that they're going to keep up with the Yankees and the Rays and everyone else in the AL East and the league as a whole. But you're not making the moves to correspond with anything that you're saying. And this is also from June Lee. He said, according to multiple sources, Boston's ownership group did not mandate that Bloom trade Betts to get under their luxury tax, but that it was what Bloom ultimately decided to do with an eye toward increasing the Red Sox options in the future. The team traded Betts and David Price to Los Angeles for Alex Verdugo, Jeter Downs, and Connor Wong. Betts eventually signed a 12-year, $365 million contract with the Dodgers, a deal he told ESPN in August that he would have accepted in Boston. So who knows? We're never going to get the 100% truth of everything. And we know that front office, we know that Chaim Bloom is to blame. But when there has been that opportunity to keep these players, these homegrown players, these core players, and these talented players that are going to win you World Series, and you're making decisions to not keep them, you can't sit there and wonder why fans are mad and fans are not accepting to the moves you are making. No offense to Justin Turner, but is he really going to get Red Sox fans super excited? No, if anything, he's caused them more anxiety and more questions. They're only creating more questions than answers. Yes, there's still offseason left to be had. There's still time for the Red Sox to, yes, make that big move, make that big trade. But I know a lot of you are losing hope by the day. I'm trying to remain optimistic in any way possible. It is very, very difficult, especially after Sam Kennedy's comments, these reports about Bloom being the one to want to trade Betts, and Sam Kennedy just saying, I don't know why fans are mad. Be mad. I want Red Sox fans to be mad. It's not going to change anything, but be mad. They've gotten rid of some really, really talented players, some likable players, and players that should still be in a Red Sox uniform. And Rafael Devers very well could be the next one gone. We have one more segment here on the Locked On Red Sox podcast. As always, we will end this on the mental health minute just as soon as I tell you about the importance of driving sober. Did you know that driving high is considered driving under the influence? That's right, driving under the influence of marijuana is against the law in every state, even in states where marijuana is legal. That means driving high could get you a DUI. And if you think law enforcement officers can't tell when you're driving high, they very much can. Your friends can tell, your coworkers can tell, even your parents can tell. Everyone can pretty much tell. So what makes you think that law enforcement officers don't know when you're driving high? Driving under the influence of marijuana can slow your response time and change how you perceive time and speed. So even if you think you're fine to drive when you're high, you're not. Because the bottom line is, if you feel different, you drive different. And driving high is driving under the influence. So remember, drive high, get a DUI, paid for by NHS TSA. So for today's mental health minute, it doesn't have really much to do with mental health, but I just wanted to let everyone know that now that it's technically the Locked On offseason, it's been the Red Sox offseason for what seems like forever, but now it's the offseason of the Locked On MLB network. We will be dropping down to at least 3 episodes a week. So usually we've been Monday through Friday. We're going to try, Jake and I are going to try to stick to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. And of course, if anything happens, if big news breaks or there's big rumors out there, we're always going to get on that, drop you a bonus episode, or just get on the chat really quick, give you our raw reaction. But from now until when pitchers and catchers report, we will be 3 episodes a week. Like I said, we'll try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some weeks could be wonkier. So we will keep you updated as best we can for when new episodes will drop. As for this week, we did Monday. Now it's Wednesday. So we will see you Friday. We'll have an episode Friday. I also have an episode with Locked On MLB with Sully coming out the week of Christmas. So it's a very, very exciting time here at Locked On Red Sox. So even though the episodes are dropping down to 3 a week, we're still going to give you all of the news, the updates, the rumors, the instant reaction, and everything in between. We'll be also doing a mailbag episode and a New Year's resolution episode, which the Red Sox have a lot of resolutions to make in 2023. Thank you for making Locked On Red Sox your first listen of every single day. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Locked On Red Sox right here on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify. Wherever you get your podcast is where you can find us. Also find us on Twitter at LO_Red Sox, Jake at Jake Iggy, and then me, Lauren, 3 Laws, Lauren with 4 R's. Be sure to check out all the other shows across the Locked On Network. Locked On Giants, what's going on with Carlos Correa, Locked On Yankees, Locked On Astros. Everyone is doing a great job this offseason, bringing you your baseball content in the offseason. And now that you've made Locked On Red Sox your first listen, make sure to check out Locked On Sports today for listen number 2. From the games that matter the most, you go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with analysis and insight that only Locked On can provide. They also give you the Locked On Take of the Day, which is my personal favorite. Available on YouTube, Odyssey, wherever you get your podcasts. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. We will see you again on Friday. If you're like me and you're still finishing up your Christmas shopping, Godspeed. We're in this together. We will get it done, wrapped, and ready to go for this weekend. Have a wonderful day. And as always, let's go Red Sox.